This week on Capitol Report, could a New Britain strip mall storefront be the key to a red wave in 2022?
You know why? Because we can win.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle.
The GOP sees opportunity for taking down Democrats in traditionally blue Connecticut.
Republicans' message of faith, freedom, and opportunity is deeply resonating with voters.
Those are our ideals as Republicans.
When you see us door knocking in the projects, you know what's up, and we're coming to get your vote.
Who let the dogs out? Who?
What does the Gov think about this?
My idea is to focus on governing.
And that, my friends, is how we're going to do it.
Plus, can lawmakers agree on a tax plan to help those struggling in Connecticut?
If working people get no relief from those elected to represent us, what reason do we have to turn out and vote?
And how does Connecticut's baseball history compare with other states?
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside.
Capitol Report starts now. Welcome to Capitol Report. I am Tom Dutchick, and we are so glad you're spending part of your Sunday morning alongside the Power Panel. Roy Ocargrosso is back, our Democratic strategist, one of the last loyalists around, huh?
No, there's a lot of us.
Hey, and Johnny McKinney, it occurs to me that Interior Secretary Deb Haaland was in the state. She tweeted, "I couldn't take a trip to Connecticut without visiting the Stuart B. McKinney National Wildlife Refuge. There's only one problem. There was no McKinney. You didn't get invited." I find that as a personal affront to you and to Roy and I as on the panel.
Well, you can be personally affronted. I'm not. Would have loved to have met her, though. It's a great place.
Hey, John, like John Larson always says, peacock one day,
there you go,
feather duster the next.
All right, guys, let's get into it. You wouldn't think a grand opening at a New Britain strip mall would be our lead story, but hey, Capitol Report ain't your average political program. There was a lot of hooting and hollering last Wednesday when the Republican National Committee rolled into hard-hitting New Britain to open their outreach center on West Main Street. RNC sees Connecticut as a fertile ground for ending the blue wave of Democratic dominance in the governor's office. U.S. Senate and the House. RNC is spending millions targeting issues impacting black Hispanic voters. Party chair Rona McDonald isn't shy about her loyalty to Trump, rolled into town to rally the troops. Watch this.
This is the year that the American people are waking up because we are suffering under the leadership of Democrats. You know, we talk about party politics a lot. We talk about numbers. We know your gas prices in Connecticut are up 62% this year. We know home heating is up 44%. Yeah, those are numbers. But people are suffering. People are worried about inflation. They are worried about what happened to their kids who lost their learning. And when I was Michigan chair a long time ago, everybody said Michigan can't be won. It's a blue state. Give up. Well, we don't give up as Republicans. And that's why we're here talking to Hispanic Americans and African Americans, because we know that the ideals of our party are shared by everyone. And we know that when Republicans win, everyone wins. And that's why we're here. And I know, coming from a blue state, you can do it. You can turn a blue state red.
Roy is shuffling in the seats, and the cheerleading continued at the GOP pep rally here. New Britain Mayor Aaron Stewart and State Party Chairman, our pal Ben Proto. Watch this one.
Not only is this not your grandfather's Republican Party, this is not your father's Republican Party. Because of the work Ronna McDaniel and we have done in the state of Connecticut and across the country, this is our Republican Party.
2022 is an incredible opportunity for us as a party. We have national headwinds that are at our back. The guy in the White House is making it easy to be a Republican, even here in Connecticut, that's for sure. We have, for the first time since 2006, a presumptive Republican nominee for governor early on in the cycle. With established name recognition and tremendous amount of resources, we have enthusiasm around our party like I have never seen before.
It's tough to have Roy sit through all that, right? But Johnny McKinney, you all fired up about hard-hitting New Britain and the Republicans riding into town, huh?
I am fired up. So before Roy takes us back in time to Donald Trump, let's talk about what's happening here.
Back 10 days ago?
The RNC is only opening up about 20 of these around the country. They're here in Connecticut and the 5th District specifically because they know we can win. George Logan can win this race for Congress. He'll be the first Latino congressman elected from the state of Connecticut. He's African American, he's Latino, his family's from Jamaica and Guatemala. We can make inroads. Nationally, polling in 2022 is showing that Latino and Hispanic voters are split evenly between Republicans and Democrats. There are places in Texas where Hillary Clinton won by 60 points and Joe Biden won by 5 points. There is a sea change happening among Latino and Hispanic voters in this country, and Republicans are ready to seize on that change.
Unleash Roy.
How much time do I have?
Go for it.
Yeah, the Black and Latino strategy is to make sure they can't vote. So let's just be clear about that, number one. Number two, I don't know who's making these decisions for the Republican Party in Connecticut. Inviting the National Republican Chair, who unabashedly supports Donald Trump, who 10 days ago called Vladimir Putin a genius. This is the same woman who passed a resolution 3 weeks ago that said the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th, in which police officers died, was a peaceful protest. You bring that in here? Like, what is your party thinking?
Look, Ronna McDaniel also is loyal to Mitt Romney, who's
an outcast in the party.
And she's his niece, no, and she supported him too. Look, the Republican Party chairman supports Republicans. You know that's their goal. But this isn't about what's been happening in the past. This is about the future. And we know they're going to be pickups in Connecticut. And to have the Republican National Party invest money and resources in Connecticut is really good for Connecticut Republicans.
Bet you right now,
it shows that there are going to be some competitive races.
I'll bet you right now the Republicans don't win a single congressional seat or statewide office.
I'll make that bet. Yeah? Absolutely.
Dinner?
Absolutely.
Dinner?
We'll be on every week, sure.
Portofino's?
Sure.
Okay, we're out.
People don't know where Portofino's is, but yeah,
right down the street.
It's right down the street in New Haven.
All right, guys, so with all the GOP excitement, Governor Lamont was asked what he thought of all the hubbub. Well, here's his response. Watch this.
Look, it's a campaign season, and there'll be a contested race. You know, my idea is to focus on governing, do the very best job I can on behalf of the people of Connecticut. They can open up campaign offices and do TV and anything they want to do. We'll get to that as well, but I'm really focused on governing.
Johnny Mac, are there two Republican parties? One when the National Republican Party comes to Connecticut and talks about all these touchy-feely things about New Britain voters, and then goes to CPAC, and there's another Republican Party we see?
Well, sure, there is a divide in the Republican Party. It's a broad-based tent, you can argue, between people who are very conservative, who, quite frankly, I don't think align with the values of most Connecticut voters, like a Marjorie Taylor Greene. But that's no different than the Democratic Party. Look, there are 4 Democratic members of Congress and Bernie Sanders, who are members of the Democrat Socialist Party. That party came out the other day and blamed the war in Ukraine on the United States and NATO. So there are far extremes in both parties, but what we're going to go after in Connecticut is Main Street people, the people who are struggling in Connecticut, people are struggling under Joe Biden's inflation. That's where we're going to go after.
Put a bow on it.
I'm sure that Aaron Stewart, who is actually a very moderate, reasonable person, was thrilled to have Donald Trump's biggest cheerleader in her home city.
If they're talking about Donald Trump, they don't have any ideas for the future. That's my line.
All right, guys. So Governor Lamont's acting Administrative Services Commissioner was grilled for hours last week during a confirmation hearing. Michelle Gilman was grilled with questions about the external auditors who are investigating the school's construction program, which is now the focus of a federal grand jury investigation. Just to remind you, there are questions about the school construction grant and the review program, and allegations that the former man in charge, Costas Diamantis, skirted bidding laws on contracts. During questioning, Gilman vowed there would be transparency and there would be a thorough review. Watch this.
The guiding principle here should be getting to the truth, not getting to a fast answer. And so putting a timeline on truth and discovery and putting a timeline on investigation and accounting is not the purpose here. I think the purpose here is to get transparency.
We have full faith and confidence that an external audit firm or firms will be able to do this work, and we will give them full authority to get the job done. And if that means speaking with municipalities, looking at various records, if that's what they need to do, that's what they'll do.
So, guys, any thoughts that this sticks with the public right now, or still too early?
I mean, it feels to me as if since the OPM secretary resigned and took another job in East Hartford, and there was like 24, 48 hours worth of news stories, it seems to me like at least publicly it's calmed down since then. I don't think folks are paying much attention to it. I think that was a good move. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's hard to tell right now how much this has seeped into the public awareness and consciousness. I'm sure as the campaign season heats up, people will learn more about this. But even this weekend, Kevin Rennie's got another story in the Hartford Courant about a new subpoena that's been issued by the U.S. Attorney's Office, which expands the probe. I think we're going to start seeing people cooperating with the federal government. You're going to see some people who are going to cut deals. And the only question is, how far and wide does this go? Whenever one of these investigations starts, you never know where it's going to end up.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that at least that initial wave of bad press coverage seems to have calmed down for now. We'll see what happens in the next few
How
weeks.
would you be playing it if you were advising Governor Malloy back in the day and this was his scandal?
Just do whatever you need to do it quickly and move on. And get out there, and if it's an election season, get out there and campaign. Tell people what you've done, tell people why the other guy is not suited for the job, and get out there.
All right, guys. So up next on Calvert Report, he's been a familiar face on TV, and now it's his voice that people are tuning into on WTIC's Radio Mornings with Brian and Company. We'll chat politics with Brian Shackman when we get back. Don't go away.